everybody, this is Professor Moore and this is yet another English Power Lecture. This time we're going over the extremely important topic of plagiarism. It's not necessarily a writing skill, it's more of a writing don't do. Alright, so let's first talk about what plagiarism is. So, plagiarism has to do with how you use outside information in your writing. Okay, there are generally two ways that plagiarism happens. When you fail to cite something properly, whether it be an incorrect citation, lack of a citation page, lack of an in-text reference, that is called unintentional plagiarism, right? You didn't go out of your way to cheat, but you ended up cheating anyways. Now, trying to pass off outside information or another's work as your own, whether it's in part or in full, so a sentence up to an entire essay, is intentional plagiarism. It's just flat out cheating. So, now that we know what it is, how do we avoid it? Well, because they're kind of different in how they come about, you deal with them in different ways. Unintentional plagiarism. So if you're worried about unintentional plagiarism, always find and cite a source for any information that you have in your essay that isn't common knowledge, right? So this means you have to cite both in text and in a works cited bibliography page. You have to do both of those in order for it to be properly cited and not risk plagiarism. Okay. The other important thing to remember, and this is where a lot of students run into trouble, is just because you personally know something does not mean that it's common knowledge. Everybody's set of knowledge is different, right? Depending on their career, their background, their education, whatever it happens to be, everyone knows, a different set of information. So unless it's common knowledge, something that everyone knows, it's always best to be safe and find a source to back up your own personal knowledge or any information that may not be common knowledge. In trying to deal with intentional plagiarism, basically just don't cheat. You know when you're cheating. When you're going onto a website or copying someone else's paper, that's cheating. It's very obviously it's cheating, so just don't do it. Do your own work. You don't have to worry about it. Then all you have to worry about is unintentional plagiarism and follow the steps I just gave. All right, why do we avoid plagiarism? Why is this so important? Why is this something that is so serious? All right, so let's start out with the philosophical part of this. Somebody worked hard to provide the knowledge that you use for your writing, whether it's an essay or a statistic or whatever it happens to be. Someone came up with that information. They worked hard to come up with that information. Giving them credit is the right thing to do. All right. Second of all, backing up your own knowledge with outside sources, it only improves the logos of your paper. It only gives you a stronger foundation to stand on. It is never a bad thing to support even basic information with outside sources. Right? Finally, and most important, plagiarism has extremely serious consequences both in the work world and in academia. When talking about the work world, you can lose your job for cheating, right? You can be reprimanded for cheating, right? In academia, you can fail the assignment you are writing. You can fail the course that you are in, and in some cases, you can even be expelled from the school itself. Right? It's also important to note that multiple instances of plagiarism are usually recorded and put into your school file. They follow you around for the rest of your academic career and sometimes beyond, much like a criminal record would. So, plagiarism, too long, didn't read. So plagiarism is the act of taking outside information and presenting it as your own, either by failure to give proper citation, which is unintentional plagiarism, or outright cheating by claiming an outside source, in part or in full, is your own writing, intentional. How do we avoid it? Always cite any information, both in text and in a citations page, that does not fall into the category of common knowledge. If you are not sure if something is common knowledge or not, it is best to find a source and cite it anyways, just to be safe. Plagiarism, both unintentional and intentional, have major consequences that can have long-term impacts on both your academic and professional career. So the most important too long didn't read ever in the history of these videos: don't cheat.